When former Republican Senator Marco Rubio was confirmed as the new Secretary of State, the vote to confirm him in the Senate was 99 yeas and 0 nays. Meaning that every Republican present, every Democrat present voted, yes, we want Marco Rubio to be the Secretary of State. What's the worst that could happen? Well, one of those people, at least one of them, has finally come out and said, you know what? I kind of regret voting for this nincompoop to be the Secretary of State because I didn't realize he was just going to kind of rubber stamp everything that Donald Trump suggested, including Trump's suggestion to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip, forcibly remove Palestinians so he can build luxury hotels. Right? Who could have seen it coming that Marco Rubio was going to go along with that? Certainly not Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen, who I've always been a big fan of. But Van Hollen makes it seem like he had no idea Rubio, who doesn't have a brain in his head, would have been a rubber stamp Secretary of State. Here is what Van Hollen said during a recent interview on CNN this week. What the president has done is he has lit a fire and thrown it on a keg of gasoline. Because what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in the Middle East, is already a tinderbox. It's already on fire. And what he is doing is going to spread that fire. He has essentially called for what amounts to the ethnic cleansing of Gaza and forced removal of 2 million Palestinians to other areas. So then the host, Phil Mattingly, says well, hey, Rubio, Secretary of State, says he's all on board with this program. What do you think of that? And he asks, are you surprised that Rubio got behind the proposal? And Van Hollen says, look, I am. My one vote I cast for a member of the Trump cabinet was for now Secretary Rubio. I regret to say that I regret that vote. Because once installed in office, he is essentially abandoning the positions that he took here as a United States Senator. So yes, I've been extremely disappointed in the actions of Secretary Rubio, including jumping on board on this insane wrong idea, which effectively is calling for ethnic cleansing in Gaza because the president said he would be willing to use the military to do it. Who could have seen it coming, right? Donald Trump picked somebody that it turns out was just going to approve everything Donald Trump said? I'm shocked. I did not know this was going to happen. It's not like I've been sitting here screaming that for the last several months. So yeah, total shocker, right? It's not like Donald Trump has been telling us throughout the campaign last year that he wasn't going to pick anybody that was going to tell him no. Right? I mean, we had no way of knowing that. I mean, just like Senator Van Hollen here, we're all blindsided by this. We thought Donald Trump was picking independent thinkers that would push back on his horrible ideas. Oh, I'm sorry. No, literally none of us thought that because we've all been paying attention. Is there some sort of weird naivety taking place in Congress? Like in Washington, D.C., the people there just don't seem to see what the rest of us see. They don't read the news. They don't pay attention to what people say. So they don't think the horrible things are going to happen. Is that what's taking place here? Because again, look, I've always been a fan of Van Hollen, but dude, to act like you're surprised by this, I just lost any and all respect I may have still had for you at this point. You've known Rubio for years. What has Marco Rubio ever done to show you that he is a stand-up kind of guy who's going to stick to his principles? He's a guy who can't even stick to a teleprompter without having to reach for a bottle of water. He's a guy who couldn't, deviate from scripted talking points when Chris Christie was demolishing him in that Republican debate back in 2015. Rubio's a moron who doesn't have a brain. He will think and say whatever somebody tells him to think and say. That's who he's always been, and you, somebody that worked with him, Van Hollen, should have known that before you voted yes. But again, not just Van Hollen's fault. Obviously, Republicans would have had the numbers on their own to confirm Rubio, but every other Democrat in that chamber also voted for him. So, again, not just Van Hollen, even Bernie Sanders did, even Elizabeth Warren did. They all did. And they all, Republicans and Democrats alike in the Senate, Own this now. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.